It's 11 o'clock, and let me get started. Okay, so today I'm dressed the way I was on Saturday, with the Charles T-shirt because the topic is very very appropriate. Okay, now you're here because you want to change for the better, and as I've said before, it starts with what you think about. Dr. Joe Dispenza says thoughts lead to choices, which lead to action or behavior, which create experiences, which then produce emotions, which then go back and affect our thoughts. And he says that a person has 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day. 90% are the same thoughts as the day before. Same thoughts always lead to same choices lead to same behaviors create the same experiences, and the same experience produce the same emotions. So if you want to have new thoughts, you need to meditate on new words. We are studying the book Aspire, Discovering Your Purpose Through the Power of Words by Kevin Hall. And this book contains 11 words. Kevin shows us how these words will become what he calls touchstones in personal development and in business, and how you can use these words as building blocks for success and inner peace. And today we are halfway through. We're on the fifth word. Okay, good morning, everyone. Hi, Jeff, GP, good morning. Morning, Ruth, all the way from Perth. Huiswan, good morning. So today's word is humility. It's a familiar word, but let me shed more light on this word which we all use. The origin of humility is the Latin word humus, meaning soil, specifically rich, dark, organic soil. When a seed is planted in fertile soil, it transforms into something far greater. And you know how the acorn becomes an oak tree. When we have sufficient humus in our lives, we grow and develop and foster those around us to also flourish. So humility produces growth. Now we studied two words earlier. The first word, genshai, you know, not treating someone lower than yours. Okay, not seeing someone low. And namaste, okay, seeing the divine in a person. These two words are about respecting the value in others. And this allows you to view yourself as an empty bucket and every person you meet as a well. And then you put in your bucket and you fill it up. Okay, so it's really related. So in essence, humility is about being teachable and coachable. It implies a continual commitment to learning and growing and expanding. Humility is the solid core between self-mastery and leadership. It is the middle word of the 11 words in Kevin's book, Aspire. Okay, it's the fifth word. And it connects the first it's the sixth word. It connects the first 5 words on self-discovery and personal development with the final 5 words that empower us to help, inspire, and potentially lead others. This is similar, if you recall, to Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where the first 3 habits are what he calls private victories that must be in place before we go on into public victories. Morning, Josh. Morning, Amos. Morning, May. Success and humility are intimately linked. As with humility, the etymological roots of success can be traced back to the soil. Success comes from the Latin word succeder, meaning to come up through. The middle part of the word seed, okay, succeder, seed. Middle part of the word seed is an offshoot of the word seed, S-E-E-D. When a seed pushes through the dirt or humus into the daylight, it follows a path of success. To come up through is to succeed. There is no real humility without success, and there's no real success without humility. Let me repeat that. There is no real humility without success, and there is no real success without humility. The Washington Post did an article called "Leaders Are More Powerful When They Are Humble," and in that article, it said that new research shows, number one, the most humble rarely describe themselves as humble because that seems arrogant to them. But studies have shown that they aren't embarrassed, humiliated, or ashamed. So humble doesn't mean humiliation. Okay, no, the humble people are secure in their identity and higher in well-being. True humility, scientists have learned, is when someone has an accurate assessment of both his strengths and weaknesses. And he sees all this in the context of the larger whole. He's part of something far greater than he. He knows he isn't the center of the universe, and he's both grounded and liberated by this knowledge. Recognizing his abilities, he asks how he can contribute. Recognizing his flaws, he asks how he can grow. So the third point made in that Washington Post article is that the intellectually humble have a constant desire to learn and improve. They embrace ambiguity and the unknown. They like getting new information. They even enjoy finding out when they are wrong. And when in trouble, they are more willing to accept help. Fourth pointer is that the humble, on the other hand, are more pro-social. They build connections. They're more helpful, tolerant, sensitive, and accepting of differences. Okay, this is what you like. The humble are rated as more attractive date potential because they're willing to address their shortcomings. Their partners are more forgiving and understanding, all of which adds up to longer lasting relationships. At work, studies have shown that humble employees behave more ethically. They're more honest during negotiations. They're less likely to do anything to sabotage the work environment. Finally, says humility continues to be an asset at the executive level. Humble leaders prioritize the organization's success ahead of their own. So all this is very, very relevant to us as we build large organizations, okay, through our business. Kevin Hall, in writing about humility, shares about a study that his company commissioned to find out what sets the top producers apart from those who just made a tenth of the income. And he concluded with this phrase: earners are learners. The study showed that the top producers, without exception, were avid and devoted learners. They read a lot. They educated themselves in a variety of topics, especially about the needs of their clients. It seems they knew their clients better than their clients knew themselves. So let me ask you, how many of you are not familiar with the Squid Game? Okay, you better ask your kids. Your kids are actually pretty well read. My son Chris, Daniel, they are very, very well not read, well videoed. Okay, they're aware of a lot of things that are going on, and that's important. Okay, I mentioned at the leaders gathering about being a child. They were as these leaders. They were as these top producers. They were as inquisitive as a curious child. Okay. Now, if you recall, in my in the second word Pathfinder, I shared about Dr. Gerald Bell in his study of 4,000. This was a survey on the lives of 4,000 retired executives with an average age of 70. And they were asked just one question: if you could live your life over again, what would you do differently? And the answer was, I should have carved out life goals and owned my life. I should have taken charge of my life through goal setting. I would have spent more time on personal development. So goal setting, planning, requires intent and preparation. To plan is to plant. You're talking about humus, seed. To plan is to plant. Contrary to popular opinion, it takes humility to first plan and then to follow through and achieve worthwhile goals. I change as I confront and conquer challenges. Challenges create change, and change promotes growth. That is why people with humility approach challenges with enthusiasm and eagerness, because they want to grow. They're not afraid of failure. They approach challenges with enthusiasm and eagerness. So humility is not thinking of yourself less, it's thinking less of yourself. At MAM, I shared Adam Leipzig's little talk, How to Know Your Life Purpose in 5 minutes. Remember, he asked 5 questions, and 3 of these questions were focused outward on others. So when your human need is contribution, then you realize you need growth. Okay, this Anthony Robbins taught us growth and contribution, the 5th and 6th human need. Humility is the single most key to growth. Humility is living in crescendo, which I shared last week was Stephen Covey's personal motto. To live life in crescendo is to constantly look forward. It means your greatest work and contribution is always ahead of you. Humility is a superpower in leadership. It is about knowing what you don't know and having the curiosity, authenticity, and confidence to put that out there, to admit it so that you and your team can find the answers. And find the answers so you can better serve the world. You know, it's such a fantastic word. It's so exciting, and it's no coincidence that GP's leaders gathering on children at play ties in with this word on humility, which is not child's play. It is about leadership.